Pose-to-pose and straight-ahead animation are the fourth animation principle listed in Frank and Ollie's timeless book, The Illusion of Life Disney Animation. In truth, pose-to-pose and straight-ahead are more so animation methods rather than principles, but they are equally as important as the other principles nonetheless. Pose-to-pose is a deliberate workflow, whereas straight-ahead is instinctual. With straight-ahead animation, we would start with the first drawing in a scene and continue drawing each frame sequentially through the shot, feeling out the actions as we go. This create-as-you-go approach to animation is a lot like improv. It will always have a loose spontaneity to it and a natural flow that looks fresh and appealing. The downside to this organic workflow is that the more frames we draw, the further away we become from the initial drawing, and we're more likely to have the object or character's proportions get away from us, so the first and last frames of a sequence look completely different, and because we're feeling out the action rather than planning it, we won't necessarily know where the action will end up until it gets there. The pose-to-pose animation method is deliberate because we're doing the necessary pre-planning required to ensure the object or character lands where we need them to. Instead of drawing every frame in order, we may draw the starting and ending positions of an action before deciding how they will get from point A to point B. At the cost of loose spontaneity, we're gaining control and earlier clarity of the overall look and feel of the sequence. Straight-ahead animation is all about living in the space in the moment, and pose-to-pose is about building a solid foundation for the shot to breathe life into after the pre-planning is complete. Both methods are valid choices, and to a degree boil down to which is the animator's preferred method. They both have strengths and setbacks. To some animators, the choice between pose-to-pose and straight-ahead animating is contextual to what is needed for the shot they're working on. When animating dialogue or emotional shots, the likely choice is the pose-to-pose method. By looking at the shot as a whole, the animator has the opportunity to listen to and really analyze the dialogue clip, dissecting the highs and lows of the performance's energy, which can then be translated into strong, carefully crafted poses on the proper beats. These strong poses would be considered the shot's key poses, which can then be viewed in sequence to feel the flow of the shot's foundation, to spot mistakes in an earlier, easier to tweak state. The setback in this case is a result that feels tight and controlled. Straight ahead, on the other hand, is ideal for large, broad actions. These actions are naturally spontaneous and have a flow to them not easily achieved through the pose-to-pose workflow. By animating in this method, you may even surprise yourself where these actions end up, and the overall shot will be a more fun experience as a result. The setback in this case is you are less likely to have strong poses since you are focusing on the entire action at once.
People who get into animation tend to be kids. We don't have to grow up, but also animators are great observers, and there's this childlike wonder and interest in the world, the observation of little things that happen in life.
Even though these workflow structures aren't necessarily animation principles, it's completely understandable why Frank and Ollie included them in the list. Every animator should attempt both animation methods to understand how it feels to work with each of them. There's no right or wrong answer on which works better for you, and it's impossible to truly grasp the strengths of each style without experiencing it for yourself. And who knows, you may even surprise yourself in what you're truly capable of creating.